What's up, everybody? It's Big Cheds. This is a live premiere. It's May 5th, 2023. I'm uploading episode 29 from the Twitter Ask Me Anything spaces. I have probably 3 more to upload, and this month I'm going to be a lot more active. I'm going to be doing more spaces and some more YouTube streams as well. So go to my YouTube. This is in the playlist. Twitter Spaces. Make sure you check that out, right? Check out the masterclass tutorials. Really check everything out. Free version of my book, Trading Wisdom. That book had some great reviews. I published my 3rd book, Trading Quotes, last December. That's doing really well. So thank you for that. And of course, as a reminder, I am a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. I do a twice a week full market update. I'm just one of many members on a wonderful team. And you can check out the public blog to see some of my sample reports and some of the other sample reports as well. So go ahead and check that out. So let's go ahead and get this started. And just give it a couple minutes here. I'm just gonna fill up the room, and I'm just setting up like pinned tweets and all that good stuff. We're gonna do like a full-on Ask Me Anything today. So I'm gonna take questions from you guys. We'll just kind of hang out. We'll try to flesh out what's going on. So hit that button, the request button in the bottom left, and I'll start to get you in. But I'm hanging out here just for a couple minutes until I fill up the room. So, but thank you. All right, folks. This is going to be uploaded later to my YouTube page, Cheds Trading. I'm not super active on there, but I do catalog these Twitter Spaces. This will be this episode 29 of like an Ask Me Anything. I do kind of just an open format where I'd love to hear from you. There's a button in the bottom left where it says, like request microphone. I do want to get you in the conversation, and we usually go an hour and a half, 2 hours. Probably be something like that today. And what we do is it's just like an honest conversation. I get to hear from you, kind of see how you're doing, what you're thinking. You hear from me. You guys ask me about stuff, and it just creates a great convo. While you're at the YouTube Cheds Trading, if you want to learn some basic TA, maybe some more even advanced TA, check out the playlist Masterclass Webinars. It's a great place to start. Go back into the Twitter Spaces playlist. Listen to those. You could just, by now, 100+ hours of these just like Ask Me Anything segments. So if you're a new trader, I mean, that's something you should take advantage of because a lot of the questions you're wondering about, are answered. And it's not always price or time sensitive about what do I do here right now. A lot of it is just trading, risk management strategy, how to scale into your positions, and general risk management structuring. So there's a lot of value in going back and watching that old stuff. I am a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. Bitcoin Live is the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. I'm a founding analyst. It's a world-class team of analysts. I think probably the best team anywhere that covers crypto. And actually, so I did a report last night because I do it twice a week, Wednesday and Sunday night. Actually, I should bookmark that to the spaces. That report is now free. I made it public to everybody. So I'm going to add that to the nest here as well. So you can go, it's like a 40-minute video. I did it last night, and I do this twice a week, every Wednesday, every Sunday night, even if I'm sick or I'm on vacation, whatever's going on. I make sure I always do a video update. It's really important to me. Let me just find it. Here we go. So I'm attaching this tweet to the spaces right now. So up top in the spaces, there's 3 tweets. There's the report for Bitcoin Live. You can just, it's free in the public blog. There's a new follower packet where it's linked to like textbook recommendations, learning videos on YouTube, stuff like that. And also a BingX, which is a really great exchange. A link to, sign up there and check out what they do. So there's 3 links here at the top of the spaces. But I think it's really cool with like everything that's happened. with all this volatility, I think it would be useful for you to watch the free report I did last night, and I might even do a YouTube stream tonight. So I don't do these spaces in YouTube and stuff like that much, but when there's volatility, I think can create an opportunity. So we've only got one person requesting to speak, Clifford, who's a returning guest. I've got about 200 of you people so far. This will build up. Hit the button to request to speak. I'm not just going to talk and talk. That's boring. Is I want to create a conversation. So hit request to speak. Wait until I call your name, and then it will be your turn. Let's start out with Clifford. Clifford Fasook. We're just adding him here. And folks, just go ahead and request, and I'll get you in eventually. I usually actually get to everybody who wants to speak. So what's up, Clifford?
Yeah, bro, I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right.
No cap? No
Um,
cap?
how have you been? Like, I know, like, I said something earlier today. Like, I've never seen you this happily, like, bullish concerning the market. Like,
Uh-huh.
um, you said
Really? I mean, I've
something.
been doing this a long time, so you've seen this many
Yeah,
times.
I know. No, concerning the market. Like last week, it was crazy. Like the way the market went down, and some things you said, which was quite insightful. And so I wanted to ask, do you
Yeah.
feel like we are at the bottom, like we've gone above the bottom, or do you still think like I know anything can happen
Well,
in
you
the
want like a
market, like
definitive statement. I can't really give you that. I can say a lot of stuff. And again, I did like a whole report last night. But what I can say is like we have a new higher low. We have a level now bulls have to hold, which is, we just bounced off the daily MA 200. Like there's a
yeah,
new line in the sand to watch, right? And this is a TLDR on the video, but we know, the high time frame trigger level 25.5. And given the price action and the price response off the 200, like that's the new higher low to watch. So, I mean, there's not like 100% bottom and not in. I say it's still probably in, right? But it's not like it's definitely in, but it's still probably in. But we now have a new data point to watch, and that's kind of what this is. It's kind of coming in with a game plan. As the new data comes in, you kind of adjust a little bit to that. So, you're not like I don't think you're being analytical with that question. Like it's not a good question.
now sorry, I want to ask you something concerning BUSD, Binance
Yeah.
stablecoin. Caesar tweeted something about
Caesar, like the monkey
the
from Planet of the Apes.
no Caesar CEO of
I'm just
Binance.
kidding.
He
I'm just
tweeted
kidding.
something like, I know. He tweeted something about their own stable coins. The recovery fund, the 1 billion recovery fund, saying they are swapping it for Ethereum, BTC, and I think what other token BNB. What do you think about in the long run? What do you think about BUSD? Is it still going to be stable coins that people are going to
I
use,
have
or do
no
you
opinion
think
on that. I
it's
don't know
going
anything
to?
about that. That's not like in my realm of expertise. That's like a fundamental analyst question. I'm not a stablecoin analyst. I don't have a sense of who's going to use what stablecoin and why. It's kind of irrelevant to me. If you want to talk about stablecoins, let's talk about the fact that what was going on with USDC was a buy signal. And pretty much every
Yeah,
time there's stablecoin fears and like a depegging, you want to start longing Bitcoin, right? Off the top of my
yeah.
mind, May 12th last year, like almost all the time, it pretty much always works. Oh, hold on 1 second. Give me like 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Pizza deliveries here. Would you order
No, I'm
Cheds
watching a
wings?
dog. I'm watching a dog, and it's like all over the place. So I had
A
to go.
hot dog?
I had to go shut the office door so we get down to business here. So look, it's just stablecoin fears. Like what was going on with like USDC for me, it just smelled like opportunity. I mean, that along with the panic and the fear. So like, I can't BUSD like CZ tweets like whatever. I'm the wrong. You know that. I'm the wrong guy to ask in that stuff. So, um, anyways, let's move on. Good to hear from you, man. Check out my report from last night. All right, I think you'll get a lot from that. All right, Cliff. All right, come back next time, man. Let's go with Buffo. Good to see you again, dude. What's going on?
Cheds, my brother's blessings. Good morning, man. Great to
Good
be
morning.
in your virtual presence as always, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. You too.
Really quick, I hope you're doing well, man. Really quick with my love, Hex. Really quick, man. I have
Hex.
a quick question. Yes,
Oh, geez.
regarding
Why are people asking about Hex today? I've seen a couple of people asking about it.
because we just made a new all-time high. We were just above 8 cents, and I'm
It's
eyeing
all-time
around
high?
the
What are you
10.
talking about? All-time high?
No, I mean for this year at least. I
All-time
don't want
high?
to.
What, you mean like all-time high in the last 2 months?
Yeah. So
I mean,
we're
local, not
uh,
even that. I mean, not even that. Like, I mean, it depends what exchange, but like there aren't that many in TradingView, but like on BitGet, it was higher on February 19th.
I'll normally look at the USDC hex on Uniswap because that's where most of the volume is. But I see what you're
USDC.
saying.
No, but let me look at that way then. So let me do it. That's probably a better read. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit cleaner, but it's still at the peak of a multi-month base. If you go back to
Right.
May of 2025,
Yes, sir. And
2022.
and
Yeah.
and building off of that, if I
Uh-huh.
may,
Yeah.
my question was:
Yeah.
does the concept of negative divergences or bearish divergences apply to more than just the MACD? Does it also apply to, like, for example, the
Yeah.
stochastic RSI and also the money flow?
So I would stop using MACD and I'd stop using stochastics. Personally, and I mean, my style, and I've talked about it. I use OBV, which is an index oscillator. It's a tally. It's like the accumulation distribution. It really should always confirm the trend. And I'll like occasionally use RSI, which is a bounded oscillator, giving you oversold, overbought indicators. But I'm using that as like a second or even a third order importance of information. Like you're never trading based on what an oscillator is doing. Like that always will confirm your trade idea. It's a very important rule of thumb to understand with especially divergence, and not only divergence, but using any kind of indicator like that, any kind of oscillator. That's to confirm an idea. Never ever let that be the origin of a trade idea. It's a really important point. All right. Um,
Okay.
what regular divergence and negative, you said negative divergence, right? So you know the difference between regular and hidden divergence?
Could you touch on that a little bit
Yeah,
more,
and so
please?
and I think there's links to this in one of the like tweets in the nest where it says like educational stuff, and I talk about it in my YouTube masterclass series as well. So a regular divergence is like a reversal. Most classically, people a lot of people use the RSI, and I recommend not using the RSI for regular, but you'll see like a higher low in the RSI, but you have the lower low in the price. And remember, you're drawing this in the candle body because oscillators and indicators, they calculate based on the candle body close, not the wick. So it's important. Or you can use a line chart for the price that cleans it up a little bit. But you're drawing from body close to body close. So people think of a higher low in the RSI. Oh, the price is going to reverse. Problem with that is the RSI, it's bounded. It has a fixed limit up or down. So it starts to reverse like early. So for reversal divergence, I like to use the OBV, which is the on balance for regular divergence, which is a reversal. The OBV, right? Because if you have a rising OBV but a falling price, that means people are accumulating here as the price is falling. Like that's a divergence. If you kind of step back and think of it more kind of conceptually, right? Then there's hidden divergence, and there's all these. You can Google it. There's these charts which will show strong, mild, weak divergence, and regular and hidden, and it will give you like a little chart and get confusing. But um, like RSI is good for hidden divergence, which is continuation divergence, right? So, for example, if I'm getting lower lows in the RSI, but I'm getting higher highs in the price, that's good because the RSI is resetting itself. The RSI is going lower or at least flat price. Like the price is holding onto its gains while the RSI resets itself. Like that's good, right? But you don't want to use hidden divergence for the OBV. Like there's no scenario. It's not good for bulls that the OBV is going lower. Like the OBV doesn't need to reset itself. It's just a running list, a running tally. Basically buy volume versus sell volume, calculated on the close, of course. So it can be confusing. Start with the masterclass webinar. Use divergence very infrequently. Like don't make it a heavy part of your routine unless you know exactly what you're doing. Like remember, like it's price first support and resistance. Like oscillators, indicators, these are all second, third order value. Okay, they never can be used to generate a trade idea. All right, buddy?
All right, awesome. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man. Yeah, I understand what you're saying because I'm visualizing it here on the chart, and
Yeah.
it does make a lot of sense because the price is holding up, even though the RSI is coming down.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good thing, right? You think about it more
yep.
conceptually. So, but go watch the playlist. All right.
All right, awesome. Before you go, man, real quick, got two more very brief
No,
questions.
no, can't
can
do it. I give
oh
one
shit.
quick one. One
All
quick
right, you
one.
got it, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate your time. Take care.
No,
Blessings.
no, go ahead. One more. You can do one
One
more
more.
quick
Okay.
question.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Can a Head and Shoulders still be considered a Head and Shoulders if
Yeah.
the third peak is taller than the middle one?
No.
No. Okay, so that invalidates that. Okay. All
But it's
right.
not about it. But it's not about a name either. It's about what are you going to use to structure a trade idea. Even with like a Head and Shoulders, what matters is where you're defining when it either confirms or it invalidates. Like it doesn't matter what you call things. Tell me how you're going to play it. So focus again, and this is something as a newer trader we tend to do is want to identify a pattern because that will just tell us exactly what to do. No, it never works. It's about what's your trigger level on the chart and why. So focus less on the name and more on your plan to actually trade it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Chaz. Always appreciate you, brother. Take care.
Peace out, G. That was fun. Let's go. Who's next? Goalie. Goalie's up next. Folks, just hit request. I'll try to get you in the conversation. What's up, Goalie?
How you doing,
Pretty
Cheds?
good.
Yeah. So, my question is, so since the Fed kind of has two, I know it's oversimplifying a bit, but it has sort of two jobs: one to fight inflation, the other to maintain price
Yeah.
stability.
Yeah.
What would you say, since they just bailed this bank out, essentially? I know they're calling it a backstop, but it's essentially a bailout. Will the bank have any incentive to pause rate hikes, do you think?
I just don't know. It's the wrong spaces for that. You know, like all of that for me is things that may or may not factor into the price. And I have a tweet, and it's a great question, but I'm the wrong guy for it, right? Because I'm micro specializing on the price, and I have a tweet that says the best fundamental analyst in the world is the price. Like I let that handle everything for me. So if any of that shit's important, like rates are going to do whatever, or the SPY is going to do whatever, or like JP Morgan's going to do whatever I'm trying to like risk my money on. So I've just found that like everybody has a good get. Many people could have a really intelligent response to your question, and be on the opposite side of each other. We could sit around all day and listen to it, but like, what is the point? Like, it's just so it just doesn't do anything for me personally. So I mean, if you get another question, I can try to help you, but I don't really have much of an answer on that.
No, that's good. That was kind of my question, but yeah, thanks for helping me out.
Yeah.
And I love what you do anyways, man. You help a lot of people out, so
You help
it's
me,
great.
man. I'm
Thank
just
you,
having
man.
fun. I'm just having fun. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not trying to just be like, oh, like if I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to sit here on a spaces with a few hundred people and like, say something just to say it. That's just not like what I'm going to do. Alex, what's up? We'll get you next, Andres. What's going on, Alex?
All right, big Cheds. So I once heard from this very wise guy that he said that resistance is going to be resistance until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard someone say that.
Never. Nunca.
Anyways, right? So I've always heard you say that. I've always heard you say that resistance is going to be resistance until proven otherwise, and the same for support.
Yeah.
So we have 25.5 coming up.
Yeah, that's a big level. That's a big deal. Yeah.
It's a big level, but at the same time, shit, man, the price action over the weekend. I'm a Bitcoin Live member, right? And the excitement behind your voice as you were explaining and going over everything that took place this weekend, God, it's really a beautiful chart. Starting from Friday, that hammer at the MA 200 and so on.
Yes. Wow. Yep.
Okay. So you got all that action happening over the weekend, and you got Bitcoin coming up to 25.5. Resistance until proven otherwise.
Of course.
What's the plan?
Yeah. Well,
what's the plan?
You know the plan. I heard you. You already heard last night's report, right? Like it's like we know the level clearly that 25.5 is a level where like it should, again, is what I've been saying, like it should reject, and if it doesn't, pay attention. now that we've put in this massive low at the 200, like now we got to hold like 22.5, 21.5. We got to keep that rising higher low pressure. That buyer demand has to, you know what I mean? Like that, the floor has to keep getting higher. And, you know, like think about like an ascending triangle, right? Like an ascending triangle, you have that resistance level really well defined, but you get the kind of rising demand trend. And this is what we need on Bitcoin. But we kind of feel like we went over it pretty much last night. But yeah, it's going to be, can this rising demand continue? Because that's a big level, you know, weekly MA 200, you know, underside of the May lows, the high of whatever, February, and then, you know, these most recent highs.
Right. Yeah, I guess for me it's just the question of like, you know what I mean? I'm debating myself whether
Tell me, what's the debate? What's the debate?
Like whether I'm actually gonna try a short at the initial test of 25.5, or
sure. Where would your stop loss be?
So if I do, let's say I'll go in at 25.3.
Okay.
And then my stop loss, I would probably put it somewhere at 24.890.
Way too high for me. That's way too high. Oh, sorry,
yeah?
No, sorry. Short. You said short or long?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, so sorry. If we are gonna short, right? My bad. I got confused too. Okay, let's say that I do my short. Let's say that I do my short at 25.3.
Yeah.
I would put my stop loss no higher than 25.7 is pushing it, I think.
I agree. I think that's about right. Yeah, it's fine. And you can get wicked out, and then you can still re-enter the short if your trade idea is revalidated. So let's say it spiked to 25.8, and then it comes back below 25.5, 25.3. You could do it again, or especially below 25 even. Yeah.
And then now my stop loss becomes the end of that week, right?
Because you can do that. It depends on if it's too high from your entry. I mean, we have such a big level. Of course, we're going to be on watch for an upthrust, right?
Right.
So, I mean, with this well and identified level, I saw some other people's trigger levels are a little bit lower for me, 25.2. I think we got to wait to clear really the May lows, right? Around 25.5. We got to be on watch for an upthrust. I mean, it's a major level, so we're always on watch for an upthrust. We're on watch for all these possibilities because we're kind of we were conditioned for it. You know, we've done this enough so we kind of understand what might happen, and we're ready to adapt to it, and regardless of whatever happens.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thanks,
bro.
Appreciate you.
All right, likewise. You have a good one.
Okay, I'll get to you in a second. You don't need to raise your hand, Sham. Andreas is next, but then I'll go to you, folks. I have a couple speaking spots. Hit request to speak. This is your opportunity to tell me what you're thinking. Ask me questions and ask me anything. Segment. Check out the pinned tweets. There's a bunch of like educational resources and links to my free market update from Bitcoin Live I did last night. You got to watch that. Andreas, what's going on?
Hey, Cheds, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, man. Thanks for joining us today.
All right, sweet. Yeah, thanks for giving me a chance here. I'm going to build off of what you guys were just talking about right now. So just a few weeks ago, kind of like what you were looking at, I felt like that 25 level was a massive level, right? And after it played out, I was under the assumption that there's a very, very good chance that we take out our lows just because it felt like a bull trap. It felt like a bear market rally. And I was like, okay, now my bias changed obviously with what's happened in the last couple of days. And I'm trying to reevaluate maybe what the next steps look like, right? And specifically what I'm interested in your opinion is around what level you believe gets taken out that basically signals, okay, no, this 20,000 was a higher low, and we're basically off to the races.
So first of all, did you see the link at the top? My Bitcoin Live members report from last night is 40 minutes. It's public.
Okay, I have not seen it.
You'll love it. You'll love it. You got to watch it. And it's attached to this spaces, whatever, right at the top. So I mean, it's still always been 25.5. That's the high time frame trigger level and weekly, and the weekly 200. So if it clears 25.5, the bottom's in. The bear thesis is dead. In my opinion.
I see. Okay, so you're feeling pretty.
Well, that's what the price is telling us. That's what the price is telling us based on classical charting, simple trend analysis. Go watch that report and hit me up after if you have questions.
Okay, so
Thank you.
All
right. Mark, hold on, brother. Mark, hold on, man. I'll get to you when it's your turn, brother. You're up next.
All right.
Thank you. Hold on. All right, Sham, what's going on, Sham?
Hey, thanks for having me
Thank
up.
you.
I come from Singapore, right? So of course I'm more interested in the Asian market.
Yeah.
So I was I was also part of the whole 2008 crisis. I was trading forex and all
Wow.
the
Okay.
stuff, and I was doing all the technical analysis from Elliott waves to everything, all this
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
But when the shit hits the fan in
Yeah.
'08, all this PA just goes out the window, and sometimes you just have to react fast.
Okay.
So of course, I'm not gonna ask you. You're not a sage. You're not gonna know the
Yeah.
future. But I want to ask, like, have you tracked down like when the Asian markets open, right? How the Bitcoin prices work
Yeah.
react? Because last time when '08
Yeah.
happened, it happened in Asia first, and we saw the fucking
Yeah.
carnage, you know. So hopefully it doesn't happen now.
Mhm.
Of course, we never want to done
Yeah.
this, but
So that's a great topic. I
how
love the question, right? And I want to answer it in two parts, right? First of all, I think technical analysis, when volatility happens, that's when it's most valuable, because like when technical analysis if you're going to trade a chart, okay, it needs to be a chart that you watch day in and day out, and you're comfortable with. You have what's called a muscle memory, like you understand the levels. So what TA does, technical analysis, it allows you to contextualize the volatility. It allows you to understand what time frame to go to based on where the price is in relation to major support and resistance. You can look at volume, you look at candlestick signals, momentum. Like TA allows you to contextualize the volatility. We are now revisiting a multi-year tested support zone, right? On like a monthly or weekly chart. I mean, after volatility, that's why it's important, number one. So that's the first, to kind of answer your first point. But in terms of Asian markets, it's a really interesting topic. But here's the thing. So I can answer it a couple different ways. But like sometimes Asian market opens, we have volatility, and sometimes like it opens and we don't. It's one of those things where while we're waiting for the price to do what we think it's going to do, we're looking for other clues outside of the chart. And like sometimes those clues work, right? Like sometimes those clues make sense and are of value, but like a lot of time they're not. So you can try to draw correlations every time I did it myself, recently, where every time we have stable coin fears like USDC, people with depegging, that's a good time to go long in Bitcoin, and it worked because it's worked every time I've looked at it. Sometime it won't work in the future, right? But so I just think we have to be a little bit careful looking at stuff outside of the chart. I think we have a global market now, so yes, like if Asia market opens up early, I mean, I think here in America we tend to think the world revolves around us, and it really doesn't. I mean, we're part of a global world. So of course, people in Asia, they have their own world, their own existence. They're going to wake up, and you're going to see volatility. And so sometimes that will affect Bitcoin, sometimes it won't. I don't know that there's like a strategy per se to build around that. So that's how I would answer your question, Sham.
All right, thanks for answering me. I know it's very difficult
Yeah.
question to answer, but yeah,
Thank you,
thanks.
buddy. Take care. Mark, it's your turn. We'd love to hear from you, Mark. How you doing, buddy? Mr. Mark, it is your turn, man. And folks, while you're waiting, make sure to hit that pinned tweet on the Spaces free video report for me for you to watch. Mark, what's going on, buddy? All right, he's gone. Let's go with Boo M12.
Hey, Big Cheds,
I'm
how are
doing
you?
good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I want to ask you a question, please. Which one is more important, market structure or support and resistance?
What's the difference? There's no
So
difference.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example right now.
Okay.
So if you open the Bitcoin on the daily chart, you can see we made the last low at 21.3, and we made a higher high.
21.3. What day? What are you talking about?
February 13th.
Okay, sorry. So February 13th. Okay, and I've got a low. 21.3, 21.4. Okay. Yep.
And we made a higher high after it. And yesterday we broke that higher low. So now, from a market structure point of view, we are in a bearish
retest
chart. We are in a bearish chart, and
it depends on what time frame. There is no trend in this. The daily chart has no trend. The daily chart sideways. I mean, every moving average is sideways. MA 200, MA 50. MA20, EMA 34. It's a sideways chart on the daily, right? It's a downtrend that stopped going down, but it's not going up. And then we're forming our right shoulder. You asked the right question. Now 21.5. So you're talking about the break below that 21.3, 21.4. That's an important level where it bounced off of Boo, right, from the February 13th low, because that was also the high from November, the early November high, right? And where the price paused and consolidated in the middle of January. So you have price structure there. So we can view this price move in the last four candles, excluding today. We can look at the last 4 candles as a deviation below that level, a temporary deviation with the bounce off the sideways MA200, right? By the way, the trend in classical charting is the MA200, so it's not a downtrend; it's literally sideways, flat. Okay, so that's the trend, right? Just like academically speaking. So we can view the last few days as a deviation below that 21.5. So you've correctly identified an important level. So a bull thesis would be that we put in our right shoulder, and then that price movement below 21.5 was a deviation. And now we're going to grind up, test, maybe reject briefly, but then grind through and eventually break 25.5. That's the bull thesis. By the way, you can watch I did a whole report on it last night. You can watch it for free. And we'll give you some kind of more in detail thoughts. But I think you're on the right track. I really think you are. All right.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye,
my friend. All right, we have a couple speaking spots. I'll go until there's no more questions. So if you want the spaces to end, don't ask questions. Ebram, what's going on, man? It's nice to see you once again.
Hey, Cheds, how's it going? Nice to see you as well.
How's the weather out there?
So it's pretty cold in here.
Yeah.
And the sky's been gray for a few weeks. Longing for a sunny. I'm looking for a sunny day.
Oh man,
it's quite cold here in Europe now. Yeah, by the way, I'm super glad you've done this in Euro friendly time.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity to do it. For you guys.
Yeah, that's amazing. Cool. Thank you. All right, so let me tell you something. Okay, maybe so I took a trade which was a short position that I took at 25.1, and the thesis was, okay, if we don't break here, I'm in profit. If we break, I'm very flexible in changing my mind and taking it along. And it played out well. So we went down until 19.5.
Yep.
And I saw we were approaching the daily MA 200, and I was indeed expecting a bounce.
Yeah.
So I drew my fib levels, and I was ready to look at, okay, where would the bear flag invalidate, basically, so that I know it's the time to exit the position. And I did exit yesterday around half of it around 20.9, and the others closer to 22K.
Nice trade.
Made some profits,
nice trade,
but definitely, But I still definitely left a lot of money on the table. Like I could have easily just accepted that the bounce of the MA 200 would be stronger and make more profits on that and flip long.
Okay.
We had an interesting discussion yesterday. Maybe this is where I'm confused. The way building up on what Bo was just talking about.
Oh, the candle below the Bollinger Band.
Yes, exactly.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Yes.
Okay.
So I looked at the daily chart, and breaking 21.3 was, okay, here is the bears are gaining more strength than the bulls, and the daily chart is
big deal.
And we're below the Bollinger Band. So my expectation was either we bounce back within the Bollinger Band, or we pause until the bands catch up, and then we're again inside the bands and we continue to the downside. But you had a completely opposing view to mine, and that's where I want to learn.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if you were. I mean, I don't know. I mean, because I don't know if you were. So, a couple points in that. Like, think about like a moving average cross, right? And we'll get back. So when you talk about like waiting for the bands to catch up, right? So think about a moving average cross, like a moving average cross in a sideways market. That's not much of a signal, right? Because it's like you're sideways. Who cares?
Right.
But like if you get a sharp move down, and then let's say like I don't know the MA 50 and sharp move down, and then maybe like the MA 10 or 20 like quickly bounces and crosses, like that's a better signal because it's like a momentum thing, right? So we had when you have an entire candle completing below the Bollinger Band. It's just an natural opportunity for a mean reversion, right? Even if it's only or AKA relief rally. even if it's only to something like the EMA 8 underside, right? So that's just the backdrop before you even look at what candle. And here we have a hammer candle with a long lower shadow and the most volume in the candle series. The last 115 candles. I mean, that's like what more do you want? That's like a 10 out of, that's like, a really good signal. So, and you had the same thing with Ethereum too. I think Dragonfly Doji ended up being a hammer, but Dragonfly Doji. I mean, so when you have, and it's after a decline, and it was the contact, it was after a range low breakdown. So you have the opportunity for deviation, you have an opportunity for kind of a snapback of some time, and you have the throwback off the MA 200. I mean, you have all these things going on. It's like I'm excited. The guy before said in my Book on Live video, I was excited talking about it. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, all the things. So it's all those contacts. So when you see that candle completing below the lower Bollinger Band, that's a really strong signal.
Because of the candle shape.
Because of the fact that it's off the MA 200, because of it got there quickly.
Yeah.
Because it has volume. We're talking about candlestick theory. With candlestick theory, there are two main tenets which are incredibly important. Okay, number one, the strength of every candlestick signal is based on the volume behind it. This is an immutable law. That's one of my quotes from book 3. Oh, by the way, so I'm the author of Trading Wisdom. You guys can get a free version of that on my YouTube. I didn't even mention that. Author of Trading Wisdom.
Yeah.
And I just published a new book, Trading Quotes, back in December. I'm not like pushing my books that hard. And it's cool. Like they're out there. People...
I would still push with you. Like I've read the books. I had Kindle Unlimited, so I did read the book. And if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read the book for free as well. And
you know what I'm listening to?
It's a very good intro.
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead. Sorry. Yeah. I'm listening to Stephen King.
No, I was just gonna say it's a very good intro for people who have no experience about the markets and they're excited in getting into the markets. You're doing a very good job explaining. For someone who looks to enter the markets with a more educated point of view, not just I'm going to trade this because it looks green on the chart.
I appreciate it.
You end up buying a shitcoin. Yeah, please go ahead.
No, I appreciate that. Like my whole tagline has always been helping new traders avoid my old mistakes. And it's like that's because I'm pretty much I talk about just like managing your risk and letting the price guide you. But as I say, I'm listening to Stephen King's book on writing, like book on tape. It's really good. You know what I mean? Because I have more books. I have more books I want to write. Like the next book's a trading journal, but I'm not like super working on it because I'm actually doing a re-edit of my cancer memoir that I published a few years ago, and I don't think I wrote it that well the first time around because I'm more mature as a writer now. So I'm re-editing that. And
that was your first book, right?
Yeah, I published it back in 2019, I think. Yeah. So that was my first book, and it's just like it's a tome. It's a huge book. It's like 2 years of my life as I fought cancer, and then my mom had cancer, and so it's a good story.
Man, you're a warrior coming out of that. Yeah, you're a warrior coming out of that, and writing it in a way that could help anybody who's going through that. That's definitely a great thing. I think the great step that you took is writing the book. That's the first. You got to start somewhere, right? Like you started as a trader. Probably you were not doing that great as a writer. Still, you'd end up learning, and have your. I don't know. You seems like you're taking on a new career path as a book publisher, which is great.
Thank you, brother. I have so many books I want to write. I have a poker and trading book. Will be book 5. Anyway, so
yes.
So look, that was a big signal because of the momentum, the pace at which it got there. When you have the reversal, and so the two things in Japanese candlestick. Let me wrap it up with this. Candlestick theory, the strength, the volume behind every candlestick signal, that's the strength of the signal, right? And then another one is you want to use Bollinger Bands. So like you want a bullish hammer at the lower Bollinger Band. You don't want a bullish hammer at like the middle Bollinger Band. It's not as strong a signal. Because the Bollinger Band is essentially moving average of price, but you have a standard deviation of volatility. And when you have a price movement outside of that you're looking for a snapback. You're always looking for reversion. So that's why you want like a bearish candlestick signal at the upper Bollinger Band. So it was the perfect spot for a hammer. It had volume, and the entire candle, that's like a next level. That's a tier above. That's an S tier signal. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the context that I was missing about interpreting how the candle. I was expecting a bounce, but not this bounce.
Well, I wasn't expecting this bounce. I actually thought it might reject at about 21.5. I mean, it was because
right,
but it didn't. So you pay attention to that, right? So, all right, man. Take care, brother. So good to hear from you.
Thank you, man. Take care.
Take care, man. Hope to get some sunshine soon. I hope.
Yep, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Folks, let's get some more speakers in here. Got almost 300 of you, and if you want to ask me a question, there's your opportunity to do it. There's a button there in the bottom left. I'll keep the spaces going for a little bit longer, but once we do run out of questions, I tend to wrap it up because I'm not here to just talk. That's boring. I'm here to hear from you and listen to you. So I'm going to give it just a minute or two, and if we do not get any questions, I'm going to wrap it up. So this is your opportunity to speak. Hit that button in the bottom left, and I will bring you into the conversation. There we go, Serge. Let's get Serge, and wait till I call your name as well, one at a time. So Serge, ETH Daddy, what's going on, buddy?
What is going on, Big Cheds? Great to hear you on a Monday, an interesting Monday to say the least, man.
Yeah, totally.
Most definitely. Hey, I want to kind of get away from the technical and talk about just the feel, just how things have turned around so quick. And to me, I mean, what do you attribute most of this to other than just the Fed and the government getting greedy and just going after certain aspects of crypto, it seems like? Okay. And then, whoops, wait a minute. We took away the biggest thing that you cannot take away in this world, and that is trust.
So here's how we can talk about it, maybe in an instructive way. And if we think about like market participants as a whole, and you think about how we're emotional creatures, right?
Absolutely.
And so I mean, you already had kind of Bitcoin was doing its thing. It already had set the level to watch in high time frame 25.5. It had kind of drifted. It was drifting back down from that, right? And equities were kind of doing the same. And you started to have fear building. And then I started tweeting out. I think it was like Thursday night. I was like at the bar. I was having dinner, and I'm just like I just starting to get that spidey sense. It's like I tweeted out fear equals opportunity, and then like the next day I tweeted out when everyone thinks it's going lower, whatever that it is, that means it's probably that's probably near the bottom, and you just start to sniff out like these like sentiment bottoms, and we had a sentiment bottom build over the weekend. So the reason why, I mean, I can't. The Fed, this and that, like that's my, not my strong suit. But
it's just the overall feeling.
That's it. The
and
feeling
then,
is what it is. That's it.
Yeah, the feeling, and then the U.S. having to come out and say, no, the banks are fine.
Yeah.
We didn't mean to do what we did, and it just seems like it's like whoa, man, this world is so much more global than people give it credit for.
So most of the time there's like not a clear narrative, right, about like what's driving the price, but like over the weekend when you have a pending bank failure and you almost have like a fork in the road where like or will the powers that be let it cascade, or are they going to like step in? And if you see, so absent, and especially in the weekend, it plays out perfectly. That's why sometimes you get like the bad news will come out on a Friday, so the market can digest it a little bit over the weekend. And then you see this with the government, stuff like this will happen, and they got to do something, right before the open, on Monday. So, so we had a binary, kind of a fork in the road. Either they're going to let it go down or not, right? And when it steps in, that like it's not going down. Okay, there's that. Then, I mean, with Bitcoin, I mean, the whole point of Bitcoin was it was born out of the financial crisis of 2008.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, the whole thing with Bitcoin is like, if it's not going to move now, when? If you're a fundamental analyst, if you're a maxi, which I think is fine. I think for me, the one I think that will always be around is Bitcoin. So you can call me maxi, but I mean, if it's not moving now, this is the whole point. This is why it's here. So, wasn't a hedge against inflation, right? It hasn't. Some of these other kind of talking points haven't really borne out as much. But this is the whole. I mean, this is why it started. So it has to move now because we can't trust the banks. It's not your money. I mean, what is this? Like, if your money's not safe, right? So, it's a lot of stuff going on. It's very interesting. That's why there's a million spaces today. And this one isn't like focused on that aspect of it. Because that's just people, everyone has an opinion, right? Price for me. But people are interesting. And there was a sentiment bottom and you sniffed it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And look what Bitcoin's doing today because of the use case is forming. Okay.
Yeah,
Bitcoin's only a little over 10 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is forming, and society is making it what it will eventually be. So that's pretty cool.
Hey, man, it's good to hear from you. All right.
Hey, right on, Cheds. Thanks for the vine, man. You take care.
Hey,
of
check out my free report from Bitcoin Live last night. You got to watch it.
Excellent. Will do. Right on. All right.
All right. I'm having fun. Hopefully you are. Let's see, Josh, dude. What's going on, Josh?
Hey, Cheds. What's up, man? This is probably my third or fourth time being able to speak one of your spaces. So I love the access. Thank you again.
I thought I told you never to come back.
Anyway, let me cut right to the chase. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
So I'm not going to get into like too many details about what I've done already, but so far my plan.
Yeah.
I got long around 21.7, 21.8.
Nice.
And I want to take probably 50% profits around 25.4, just because like this 25.5 resistance is I don't trust this move today.
Well, do you have to trust? You shouldn't trust any move. That's a good attitude, and which is how I like you talking about taking partial profit.
Well,
maybe
this is why like it was such a great segue from what you just told the gentleman before me, is because I'm a macro guy. I'm a discretionary, investor.
Yeah.
And I have to fight those narrative-based investing that I kind of like learned over the years, thanks to like this just macro environment we've always been in. And you and other traders on Bitcoin Twitter have kind of helped me be more technicals, be more price focused, and so I'm trying to get better than that, because I'm just a basic long short guy. Like I'm not trying to get too complicated with things.
Simple's good though. Simple's good.
Yeah, and I would prefer to just take the long side and just try to find buy the dip opportunities on whatever the chart is, whether that's the 15-minute, hour, 4-hour, daily, weekly. I try to find those buy the dip opportunities, even if it is in a bear market, right? So what do you make of that plan where, try to take 50% profit, 25.4, let the rest ride, and see if we can get up in the 28, 29 range?
No, I think that's good. The only thing that's missing is a kind of a trailing stop loss. I mean, I think, and here's what I recommend to people.
And do you? So that was actually my question. Do you put trailing stop losses? Do you have like a rule where it's like a percentage?
So here's what I do. Here's what I totally do. I don't have.
Or is it levels based?
It's levels based. But what I do is what I preach, I teach, I execute is I give myself, if I'm going long, that's like 5 or 6 positions. So rather than for the sake of the argument, let's say instead of $600 position, I'll do 6 $100 positions.
I have 2 positions right now. I took long at 21.7, 21.8.
Right. If next time you've done 3 or 4, you could even have already closed one out. Right.
I'm not seeing that, and I'm not that good at managing too many positions. I try, like I said, try to keep it simple to like 2 or 3.
But this is a trade you're on. It's still the same trade. I mean, we're still just talking about one chart and one price. So by doing this, it allows you to, like, you can't round trip. You've already closed one out. You still have one at your original stop loss. The one above that's at break even, and the other one's like wherever, right? Like 23K. So you have to find ways and find your style. Like, again, disclaimer, everybody, this is what works for me. There's better traders anywhere. You can look under a rock and find a better trader than me, but I'm telling you what works for me. Hopefully it helps you. So give yourself more flexibility. Like, find ways to give yourself more flexibility. So that's why I recommend breaking it up that way.
Okay. No, I appreciate it. Thank you. And it's so hard. I will add some color to this. It's so hard these days to, like, again, be focused on just the Bitcoin price when you're thinking about the Dixie, you're thinking about macro, you're thinking about what the Fed's going to say. And I want to ask one last question. If you think Bitcoin decouples, because right now we're kind of correlating with gold more than anything.
Yeah.
If you think Bitcoin decouples, is it here?
I don't think we ever have to declare. What is the point of declaring we've decoupled or coupled? Correlation goes up or down from 50 to 90%. And it's just like, at the end of the day, you still have to make your trade based on the 4 corners of the chart in front of you, vis-a-vis, does the price hold support or not? I think we need to avoid the urge to declare, because that's back to narratives. And again, what is that going to do for us? That's for a cigar and a glass of wine. is to talk about the macro, right? But when it's time to execute your risk, it's not based on any of that.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Appreciate it. Yep.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Cheers. Hey, check out that report. There's a report, my free Bitcoin Live report. Check it out, man. You'll enjoy it.
Thank you.
Cheers out. All right. Let's see. Whack. What is up, Whack?
Hey, hi.
Hi. Yeah. How are you today?
Good. Yeah, so I'm not much of a technical guy.
Okay.
So I just wanted to just discuss do you have a long-term thesis on things in terms of like crypto long-term thesis of because a few months back you were mentioning like you see the Bitcoin making a clear downtrend towards 13K point. Do you only keep an eye on like the short-term trades only, or do you have like a long-term trade like
it's a
thesis
great question.
also?
So I analyze the trend, and so you think about Dow theory, turn of the 21st century. So you have the primary and secondary trend, right? So I will comment, yes, on like what's going on this week, but that's in the context of what's going on in the weekly picture and in the monthly picture. Like I study the trend overall, right? So what is the trend right now in Bitcoin? If we go to the weekly chart, it's an unconfirmed uptrend. If you study classical charting, you take the last 200 candles and you divide them evenly. That's a simple moving average. You have a rising 200, but the price is below it. So it's a barely unconfirmed uptrend. The daily chart trend is now sideways, right? Now, there's all these rules of when to use different time frames, and hopefully I'm kind of answering your question, but when we talk about well-defined, so with price, you want to really pay attention to it when it tells you to watch here, and you look for where the price, for example, if you look at the weekly chart, the lows of the May 9th week are around 25.5, the highs of the middle of August around 25.5, the most recent highs 25.5, from middle of February. So we know we're watching that level. So when the price gets to a key level, you can drop to a lower time frame. I might drop to a 4-hour or maybe a 1 hour. And that may be to time my entry or to look for some opportunity for a trade. But I'm not just looking at the 1 hour or the 4 hour. I know the whole thing because I know it in and out, because this is what I'm risking my money on. If I'm trading something, I'm studying it. I understand it. I get a feeling for it, right? I check Bitcoin chart before I go to bed and the first thing in the morning. And I tweet it out. People follow me, have me on notifications. I try not to overdo it. But so I study in whatever time frame, and whatever it's doing today, I know where that is in relation to the weekly time frame. So you really need to do multiple time frame analysis. There's a video on my YouTube at Cheds Trading. In my playlist, it's called Masterclass Webinars, and I go all into this. And everything else, moving averages, candlesticks, volume, but it'll give you kind of a good sense of a blending of Eastern and Western technical analysis, classical charting, patterns and stuff versus candlestick theory, which has been around for hundreds of years. Feudal rice lords in Japan. So it's great, and it works, and it's fun.
Right. Yeah, because I was like listening to a few other traders, and they mentioned like a lot of these the bigger traders, they actually know these like theories, and so they kind of like either screw people up in a way just because people expect the chart to play out in a way.
Well, there's a thing where when you're a newer trader, there's a temptation to risk money based on someone's tweet, and that's not a good thing. You should never be that impressionable. And it's also hard to know exactly what someone may mean with one tweet, because it may be in the context of 4 or 5 tweets they just made. And then, but you didn't see the other ones. So, which is why it's important, like until you have your own foundation of knowledge, which now there's tons of great free stuff out there. Like look at Crypto Cred. He's got a huge free library. And my YouTube, I'm darn proud of my YouTube. So you soak up the free stuff before you get to a point where you'd even get in trouble following someone's tweet. And you really shouldn't be. Only thing they should do is give you a play that maybe you go look at, and then you run it through your own filter, through your own method of analysis. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right. Yeah. That's what I recommend doing. Hold on. Let me see if the dog wants to. Hold on 1 second.
Thank you.
All right. So, great. Thanks. Great. Hey, it's great to hear from you. And hope you come back next time. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you, man. All right. I'm going to wrap it up unless there's no more people wish who wish to kind of step up and ask questions. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's kind of an exciting time in the market. So maybe we'll just go back to just watching the market. So I'll give it just a few more moments. And if there are no more speakers, I will move on. This has been fun. I'll remind you, I am the author of Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. You can get a free version of that on my YouTube channel. I have 1/3 of the book up there for free. It's available on Amazon, sold 15,000 copies, very like 4.7 out of 5 stars. I'm really proud of it. I just published a new book, Trading Quotes, in December. It's a super fun book as well. I also published a cancer memoir. I'll send that to you for free. I'm editing it right now, so I can send you a copy. It's not as good as the one I'm working on, but I've sent out hundreds of those. I really want to get that one out too. Founding analyst at Bitcoin Live, which I do a twice a week full market update, and I'm part of a world-class team at Bitcoin Live. It's probably, I think, the best group of analysts anywhere. My report from last night, and again, I do it twice a week, no matter what. Last night's report is free. It's been published for free, so you can see that in the top of the Spaces and on my Twitter page. Pardon me. I just want to mention also the Spaces is sponsored by BingX, which is a wonderful exchange. You can do crypto, forex, indices, commodities. I think they're adding some stocks too. So check that out. We'll do one last question. Arush, let's get you up here. This is part of my Twitter Spaces series. I have almost 30 of these Ask Me Anything segments. So Arush, what's going on, man? What would you like to say?
What's up, man?
What's up, bro?
I've been a member for, I think, a year and a half now, so I really like it. I got the 21.5 long entry, and so made a good trade.
Nice job.
But I always have problems knowing where to take profit.
Yeah. Did you hear like 10 minutes ago a little bit, or did you just jump on?
I was not listening.
It's not. So first of all, there's a video, by the way. Have you seen my YouTube channel? There's a playlist. It's actually the Trading Wisdom playlist. Video 9 is profit taking.
Okay.
So, and I talk about like breaking up your position. So it's hard if you just enter all with one position. It's like, where do I close it out? Do I close it all out here? Do I close it out there? You want to get in a position where you can close out part of your risk. I'm going to close out 20% or 25% of my position here. Because every time you take a little bit of profit, it makes every future decision easier because it represents a smaller percentage of your risk assets. So you open up multiple positions for the same trade, and then you move the stop loss up on one, move the other one here, and you kind of stagger it. So because when you force yourself to make an all or none decision, that's really difficult, and you're never going to nail it, right? It's the same concept of scaling in and scaling out of your position. I don't know the lesson number. It's one of the other lesson numbers in the book.
Yeah, I got you.
And we talked about that too. Yeah, that's lesson 28.
I have this feeling oftentimes when I'm doing scalps.
Tell me.
And they turn into, and like today I caught the higher time frame move, and the scalp kind of I let it ride, but I don't know, I'm getting greedy. So I don't know.
The hardest part is managing our emotions, bro. It's like that's it, and it's like well, there's a couple things. I mean, Peter Brandt, right, who's like the man, and he said one of the hardest things to do is let a position ride, but like all his biggest winners, you just let it ride. And for me, I try to find an in-between way, and by doing that, if I have broken up my position, like if I can let half of it ride, that's great. And so I'm just trying to get a piece I can ride, right? And I'm always in my life, I'm just trying to split the middle, find the compromise, the easier way, my way. Maybe not the easier way, but maybe more, efficient way. And so it's going to be hard because of our greed and because of our fear and all that stuff. Like that's our enemy, more than anything. So try to split up the position. I think that would help you out.
Got it, man.
Thank you so much, folks. It's been a wonderful time. I'm really happy you decided to spend an hour and a half here with me on a Monday, March 13th, 2023. This will be uploaded to my YouTube channel in the playlist Twitter Spaces. So you may be listening to it with me right now on the replay sometime in the future. So thank you for that. Everybody's listening live. Thanks for hanging out, folks. I hope you think about requesting to speak next time, right? Next time I have a Spaces. I'd love to hear from more of you, especially if you haven't spoken yet. Because that's where the real value comes from, is kind of in the back and forth and the talking. Anybody who's interested in Bitcoin, definitely look at the free report I just published for my Bitcoin Live report. It's the top on top of the Spaces. And as soon as I end the space, you'll just see it on my Twitter page at Big Cheds. Folks, thank you so much. I hope you are all well. And I wish you all the best of luck. I'll talk to you soon. Big Cheds out. All right, that's episode 29 of the Twitter Spaces series. It's going to go into the playlist Twitter Spaces. I have a few more to get caught up to date, and then I'm going to be recording some new ones, one this weekend. And I'm going to be live streaming a lot in May. I'll put those in quick market updates. Check out the masterclass tutorials, free version of my book, Trading Wisdom. You get that book on Amazon. My latest book, Trading Quotes, I published that. That's also available on Amazon. And of course, I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. I do a twice a week full market report. I'm with a world-class team of analysts. Check out the Free Public blog as well. Folks, thank you so much. I will talk to you soon. Big Cheds out.